Hello, everybody. Let me flip this around real quick. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm out, recent adoptee Rocco at the dog park, and I got a few people who wanted to know my reaction to the R. Kelly interview with Gayle King. First of all, I want to point out that I was really impressed with Gayle King's interview skills before the whole outburst and holding her composure. She was very professional throughout that outburst, but leading up until the outburst and following, she was a very professional interviewer. In my point, she reminded me a lot of Barbara Walters in a way, and I believe that she should have a career doing that. If she doesn't, I'm not a huge follower of Gayle King, so I'm not sure of her work. But if that's what she does for a living, then kudos for her, because you can tell that she deserves to be doing a job like that. All right, now on to the actual interview. Now, I grew up listening to R. Kelly. I never had his CDs. A lot of his friends did. The only thing related to R. Kelly that I purchased would be the Space Jam. The Space Jam soundtrack, and I believe I had Ignition once downloaded on my phone, but I didn't pay for it. It was free or something, because it was like a ringtone that was already in the phone or something like that. Anyways, so I was a fan of his music, when he was around, because I was a huge Aaliyah fan. So, of course, I would get mixed up with R. Kelly's music because of Aaliyah. And I know R. Kelly, was very responsible, heavily responsible for Aaliyah's first album. So, they got married or whatever, or they were dating. I didn't really follow that because it didn't really matter to me. I was kind of a little young at that time when they were together, where it didn't affect me personally, where I'm like, oh, this is bad or whatever. So then the allegations came out. The first set of the allegations came out, and I didn't know what to believe, honestly. I mean, I saw some photos. I don't know if those were photoshopped or if they were real, faked or not. But with the whole peeing on girls thing. And now we have more allegations coming out, and then more allegations coming out, and then more allegations coming out. And then we get copters flying over his house because women are apparently being held captive in his house. So this is progressing throughout his lifetime. It's been almost about 30 years of this non-stop blame of allegations and alleged raping, violence, etc. So the interview is going on, and at first I'm like, okay, let's see if R. Kelly can come out and tell his side of the story finally. Be professional about it, And what we saw was obviously not professional. So up until he started his little outburst, I was like, okay, maybe he can get some people back on his side or something like that. I don't know what my opinion is on what he did. All I know is I don't really listen to his music anymore. I haven't in quite a long time, even before I kind of found out about these allegations. And excuse me, I'm so sorry. Like I said, I'm at the dog park. So I didn't really have an opinion. I'm a pretty biased person. I go into things with an open mind. So I didn't know if he was guilty or not. if he was guilty or not, it still did not make me want to listen to his music, because if by chance he did do those things, I didn't want to have to, or not have to, but I didn't want to support any of that. Okay, so the interview's going, and I'm like, he's not doing too bad. And then, as we all saw, we get to the outburst, and Gayle King says, "Did you sleep with those women? Or did you sexually assault any women?" And he's saying no the whole time. Now, up until the point until he started getting really emotionally battered, I'm like, okay, wow, he keeps saying no, and he keeps kind of repeating himself. So before he had that little outburst, I'm like, you're not sounding too convincing, because you're literally repeating yourself like you had written down these answers already, and these were the words that were rehearsed, because there wasn't really much more coming off of his answers that weren't that didn't seem written or pre-notioned in his head or something like that. Then he has the outburst, and I'm like, oh no, he did not make himself look good whatsoever. That just made you look so much more guilty, because I do, in fact, watch a lot of, not gonna lie, I am quite obsessed. I might need a divine intervention, but I'm quite obsessed with crimes and murder trials and other trials, like mystery trials, mystery investigations. I'm all for that shit, you know? I have a very big passion to know what the hell's going on, and because I like puzzles, so I want to figure out a puzzle, but I go in to these things thinking, okay, I'm a jury member, so I have to get this out of my head that what the media has said and shoved down my throat about these people or the victims or the suspects, blah, 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 blah. So I have to go in with an open mind and make sure that the media does not influence my mind when I'm watching these documentaries or watching whatever that's related to crime. It is hard too, because yes, the media has been forcing this, especially this one, down our throats, that these allegations about R. Kelly for about 30 years now. So it's hard to really, really put aside the media to come in this with an open mind. But I did when I watched the interview. I was like, I don't know if he did it or not. Like I said, there has been some pictures and some evidence floating around of it. Those could be fake. I'm not fighting for him whatsoever, because if he did do that stuff, that is disgusting. And I don't support anybody like that. But like I said, I was going into this with an open mind. And after watching that interview, knowing what I know about specialists when they talk on TV shows, like psychologists, lawyers, or district attorneys, policemen, private investigators. As I was watching that, I was thinking to myself, okay, so most of these psychiatrists that are brought on to trials like this to see how the people react, what I saw was repetitiveness. So this repetitiveness made him look guilty before his little outbreak. Now that outbreak, I would say, okay, I would understand, yeah, that would get really tiring, being followed by the media, putting all this bad thoughts into his world, and pretty much kind of like, I don't know if his career is ruined per se, but if this is true, or if it's not true, I don't know if he had the outburst because of all these years and all this pent-up anger. But from another side of it, you look like a psychopath because you're not getting your way, because Gayle was not hassling you, but trying to get you to answer a question clear. So therefore, that outburst made it seem in my head, watching it unbiasedly, that you are obviously covering something up. If you're not, if he was not guilty, there would be absolutely no reason for him to have an outburst. So that's my opinion on the case, or the interview. I'm sorry. Now, they also said that he has a girlfriend that's, sorry, I'm at the dog park, that's willingly living with him. And as we saw in the interview and on the news, that the girlfriend's family was talking to her over the phone, and this girl, their daughter, their sister, their cousin, sounded very not exactly short, but her answers and her conversation with the family were very suspicious in my mind. When I listened to her speaking on the other end of that phone call, I'm like, something ain't right here, man. That just doesn't sound like someone that wants to be where they are at. Now, I don't know if that's because she knew the media was listening in, so she was nervous on the phone call or not. Like I said, I really try to go into these things with an unbiased opinion. So at first I'm like, well, maybe because she knows the media is listening to this, or maybe because she hasn't really talked to her family in a long time. Her mom said 2 years. So I don't know if she was nervous to talk to them because it's been a long time. But to me, on that phone call, it sounded as though someone was, how can I say this, silently asking for help in a way. It just sounded a little fishy after I gave the benefit of the doubt that maybe she's nervous because of the media and or because she hasn't talked to her family in a long time. Either way, I think if these allegations are true, I feel that this woman, R. Kelly's girlfriend, living in this house, or as they say, being held hostage, I believe she has a very, very, very important job to do right now in our society. A lot of people we're all put on this earth for a reason. Now, if this stuff is really happening and all these women are coming forward in a documentary, I Survived R. Kelly, which I have not seen yet and I want to see, so that's why you might be able to tell why my opinion is my opinion right now, because I have not seen that documentary, nor have I seen any clips from that documentary, because I do want to watch the documentary in full. But again, we are put on this earth for a reason. So which is a very, very strong possibility that these alleged allegations are happening, then I believe this woman being reconnected with her family, if they really haven't talked for that long, that this girl was put on this earth to do a job to get R. Kelly busted. Or I think it's her job to come forward and stop this man from doing any more things before he can get out on bail or get released for who knows what. People are getting released for all sorts of stupid shit nowadays. So I believe this woman has a job to do, and I do believe, again, if these allegations are alleged allegations are true, then I believe that is what this woman was put on this earth to do. She needs to come forth and do her part and do the thing she was put on this earth to do. And that's my opinion on the interview. I watched it like 2 or 3 times, I believe, because I wanted to do this video. And I kind of wanted to analyze his actions and his behavior, because I was, you know, like I said, analyzing it as if I was a psychiatrist or something like that. I mean, I have not studied psychiatry or anything like this, but from what I saw, that's what I thought. And those are my thoughts on that. What are your guys' thoughts on the R. Kelly interview? What are your thoughts on his allegations, alleged allegations? Do you believe that he is guilty? Do you believe he's not guilty? Let me know. I would like to know. Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for coming, checking this video out. It is alive, so it is unedited, so please forgive me for my stumbles and everything like that. So thank you for choosing the Warehouse. I'm your host, Brad, aka your drama queen 1014. And again, let us know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. All right, toodles.